What is up, you guys? It's Dom here from Jojo Productions, and today we're talking about this guy right here, the Westcott FJ400. So this is it. This is the Westcott FJ400. It is a 400 watt second powered strobe. It is, in fact, yes, battery powered. So that's really nice. On location stuff, which is great because I do a lot of on location shooting. Also, this is also a great studio strobe because it does have a mains power AC connection, which is great for when I'm doing like product photography or studio headshots all day. We can just keep this plugged in and it's powered all day. But I think the best thing about this strobe isn't necessarily even the strobe itself, it's actually the trigger. This is the Westcott FJ400 trigger. And what this is what we call a universal trigger, which means I can put this on any camera system and this will fire the flash just fine. Now, if you've worked with brands like Godox before, you know that you will have to buy a certain trigger for whatever camera brand you have. If you have Nikon, you need to buy a Nikon trigger. If you have Canon, you need to buy a Canon trigger. It can get kind of annoying, but this is a universal trigger, so this will go on my Canon camera, this will go on my Nikon camera, I can even shoot my Panasonic cameras, and it'll fire the flash just fine. One of my favorite things about the Westcott FJ400, and actually the biggest reason that I got this strobe, is because of the high-speed sync. High-speed sync is great when I'm doing portraits outdoor and I want to see the background like a sunset or some sort of scenic background like that. Most people, when they shoot portraits, they go into a shady area and they expose for the subject, which leaves a blown out background. Some people like that. I think some of us want to even see the background because, again, like you might have a really beautiful sunset in the background and you want to see that sunset, but you can't because, well, it's blown out. What this strobe allows you to do, and high-speed sync in general allows you to do, is to expose for the background. So crank up your shutter speed to, like, I don't know, 4,000th of a second or whatever you would need. And then what you can do is you can bring in the strobe and expose for your subject properly. We can also do that not necessarily just at like sunset. I can also do this in midday because this, again, is 400 watts, which means it's a pretty powerful strobe. So high-speed sync basically works like this. Let's say this is my flash here on top of my camera. If I want to crank up that shutter speed so I can, get an exposure, the highest this will let me go is only 250th of a second. And for most of us, that's not going to be able to, knock down that ambient light far enough. This allows you to go above that sync speed. It lets you go up to 1/8000th of a second, so you can keep that 1.8 instead of stopping down your lens like you would probably have to if you did not have a high-speed sync system. So what you can do is now you can go up to 0.008 of a second, properly exposed for the background, add in the strobe, and there you go. You have an image with the background properly exposed and the subject properly exposed. To me, I think that looks a lot better than the blown out background kind of look. I think it looks kind of amateurish, to be honest. A lot of people are shooting like that, and if you really want to separate yourself, I think adding high-speed sync and strobes like that definitely kind of steps up that production. It also seems to add depth and pop to the image. So another great thing about this trigger is I can control about 7 different flashes. So if I want 7 different FJ400s, we can do that. I have 2 of them, one here, another one lighting me for video. I can run an FJ200 along with these, or an FJ80, or just whatever Westcott light that I want to run. I can run all of them together at the same time with just this. So now let's talk about the mount. For the most part, I like to just keep this on here. This is the silver reflector. It's pretty great. It protects the bulb itself, but it also adds about another stop of light because of the silver reflection, the silver reflector inside. Now, the strobe itself is actually a Bowens mount strobe, which is pretty common. Most people have Bowens mount stuff. This is obviously the bulb here, but in the center of it is actually a like video LED chip. It's called a modeling light, and basically you can turn on this modeling light to help you get focus in like darker places, or in my case, I'm using it as a video light here. So for the most part, what modifiers do I use with my strobe system? I primarily use this guy right here when I want bare bulb, hard flash. This is definitely a good way to go. They also have deep reflectors, which are like really big ones like this. If I'm not using that, I'm probably using a huge softbox like I got right here. This is a 50-inch softbox. It's really nice, really nice soft lighting. If I want something a little more portable and beauty dish style, I use the 24-inch kind of softbox beauty dish that actually came with the kit. Now I got my Westcott FJ400 with this kind of like backpack lighting kit thing. It came with this 24-inch, like I said, softbox thing. Here's the whatever. Another silver reflector. I generally keep one of these in here. This is kind of like a beauty dish thing. It's going to go into this softbox. It's going to bounce the light off of this and spread it a little more evenly so you don't get a hot spot on your subject, especially skin tones. It's really nice with. So the backpack is great. I really like it. It's good for location, traveling kind of stuff. The strobe also came with a CTO kind of gel thing and just a couple of other gels and stuff like that that you can put on the front of this guy right here. This little mount thing just hooks on right there. There you go. So that's a really nice thing. It's really nice to bring on location to things for like weddings and just stuff like that. It's just easier to carry, in other words. So the Westcott FJ400 I think is a fantastic strobe. I really like it. Now, there are times where I wish this did have a little bit more power. I do have to admit that. If they came out with like a 600 model or even 800 or 1200 model, I'd definitely buy one of those. But right now they only have a 400 as their most powerful. But I think for the most part, it's definitely good enough for what I do. So there you guys go. That is the Westcott FJ400. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe, if you have any questions or comments, please leave those in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to get to those. And we'll see you guys in the next video.